The Galactic Tactical Academy had a reputation for forging the kind of tactical specialists who could think 3 moves ahead while being shot at. Their curriculum was legendary. Their standards were brutal. And their evasion exam was the easiest test in the entire galaxy, which should have been everyone's first warning. The exam was simple. Hide from training drones for 20 minutes. The drones moved at the speed of arthritic tortoises. Their sensors couldn't detect someone unless they were actively waving. They beeped before turning corners, the machine equivalent of yelling, "Ready or not, here I come." In 40 years, no one had ever failed. Some cadets took naps during it. One had allegedly done a crossword puzzle while sitting on a crate in plain view because the drones never thought to look up. It was a formality, a checkbox. 20 minutes of institutionally mandated tedium between you and your next real challenge. But this was the year the Academy accepted Riley Cooper, human, terrestrial, owner of a personnel file that diplomatically called his approach creative problem solving, and a psychological profile that should have been labeled warning. Contents under pressure. What happened next would require 17 incident reports, a complete security overhaul, and the creation of an entirely new regulation category called human contingencies. Lieutenant Vorak stood before his tactical candidates with the posture of someone who'd seen everything the galaxy could throw at him and remained magnificently unimpressed. He was Krell, 8 feet of chitinous armor, compound eyes that could track 17 objects simultaneously, and mandibles that clicked when annoyed. They clicked a lot. "Today's evasion exam is straightforward," he began, his voice like gravel being sorted. "You enter the training environment. Training drones patrol. You hide. 20 minutes. Don't be detected." He paused, multiple eyes scanning his students. "This is not survival training. This is not tactical assessment. This is a basic competency check, demonstrating you understand one foundational principle. When you don't want to be found, don't be findable." Around the room, students radiated confidence. A Valkyrian stretched languidly, retractable claws extending. A crystalline Korite hummed with amusement. A small Nodarian mentally marked his hiding spot. He'd scouted during lunch. Riley Cooper raised his hand. Vorak's mandibles clicked once. Bad sign. "Cadet Cooper?" "Just clarifying. When you say hide, you mean anywhere in the facility or just the testing zone?" "The testing zone," Vorak said with the careful patience of someone explaining to a child why they shouldn't eat reactor fuel. "Obviously the testing zone." "Do not leave the testing zone." "Got it." Riley made a note on his datapad. "Stay in testing zone. Don't leave testing zone." "Correct." "And testing zone is the warehouse room, not the whole campus." "The warehouse." "Perfect. And these drones, the slow training models, not the hunter-killers." "Cadet Cooper." Vorak's mandibles achieved a new clicking frequency. "Why would we use hunter-killer drones on hide-and-seek? Just establishing parameters." Riley's smile could have powered a small city. "Wanted to know what we're working with." Across the room, Thornix the Valkyrian leaned toward Pip the Nodarian. "Why does the human look excited?" Pip's prey species instincts screamed warnings his conscious mind couldn't articulate. "I don't know. But when humans look excited about simple tasks, someone's about to have a very bad day." Vorak continued. "You have 20 minutes. The drones are slow, loud, obvious. This exam exists purely to verify you understand concealment." He looked directly at Riley. "Concealment means staying out of sight. It does not mean anything else. Clear?" "Crystal," Riley said. "This should have been everyone's second warning. The training warehouse was designed for easy hiding. Crates, pillars, half-walls. Convenient shadows. A toddler could hide here. A very untalented toddler." The cadets dispersed instantly. Thornix found shadows. The Korite found a pillar and refracted light around herself. Pip squeezed into a gap sized perfectly for his small frame. Everyone settled in within 30 seconds. This would be the easiest 20 minutes of their lives. The training drones activated with apologetic beeping. They rolled forward at leisurely speeds. Every turn prompted 2 warning beeps. One got stuck against a crate, and had to reverse with mechanical embarrassment. Riley Cooper stood in the room's center, turning slowly, eyes tracking every surface with the focused intensity of someone doing something far more complex than hiding from sad robots. He pulled out actual paper, which should have triggered alarms, and started sketching. In the observation room, Lieutenant Vorak watched with 23 colleagues over coffee and pastries. This was supposed to be the relaxing part of exam week. "What's the human doing?" asked a junior instructor. "Writing something," Vorak said, squinting. "Should he be writing during an evasion exam? It's not against the rules." They watched Riley finish his sketch, nod once, and mutter something. "Sir?" said a monitoring technician. Elevated heart rate from Cadet Cooper. Adrenaline spike. Increased respiration. "Is he nervous?" Vorak asked, confused. "About this?" "No, sir." The technician studied her readout. "I think he's excited." Riley walked to a wall ventilation grate, examined it for 3 seconds, and pulled out a multi-tool. Vorak's mandibles stopped clicking. Someone whispered, "He's not going to." Riley removed 6 screws with practiced efficiency, set the grate carefully aside, peered into the ductwork like checking a hotel room, and climbed inside, and disappeared. "Cadet Cooper," Vorak said into his intercom with dangerous calm, "you are supposed to hide in the testing environment." Riley's voice echoed from inside the walls. "I am hiding, sir." "Very effectively. Get out of the ventilation system." Brief pause. "Rules said stay in the testing zone and don't be detected. Didn't say I couldn't use infrastructure. The testing zone is the warehouse floor." "Is that specified in writing?" Vorak opened his mouth, closed it, turned to his second-in-command, Patient Corite Zena. "Is that specified in writing?" Zena hummed while checking her datapad. "The boundary definition says within the physical parameters of testing warehouse 7 and the ventilation system," Vorak said slowly. "Is technically within those warehouse parameters?" "Yes, by the spirit of the regulation." "I don't think humans care about the spirit of regulations." Vorak stared at the screen where Riley's beacon moved through spaces students shouldn't access. "I'm beginning to understand that." 5 minutes in. In the warehouse, other cadets remained blissfully ignorant. Thornix stretched in her spot. Pip checked his chrono. 15 minutes remaining. Easy money. The drones beeped through patrols, occasionally bumping obstacles and emitting sad electronic apologies. In the observation room, chaos approached with inevitability. "Sir?" The tracking tech frowned. Cadet Cooper's beacon left camera zone 3. "Which zone is he entering?" "That's the thing, sir. There is no next zone. He's in a maintenance corridor." "Why is there a maintenance corridor accessible from the testing zone?" "There's not supposed to be. The ventilation shouldn't connect to." The tech squinted. Oh. Maintenance hatch seal failed last week, scheduled for repair next month. Access grate was supposed to be secured, but apparently 6 screws isn't enough security when humans bring multi-tools. Vorak's mandibles created an angry typewriter sound. "Send a message. Tell him to return immediately." The comms officer tried. "Sir, he's not responding." "Is his unit functioning?" "Yes, sir. He's just not answering." Riley's beacon moved with purpose, through spaces not on student maps, navigating maintenance corridors like he'd memorized them, which was impossible because students didn't have corridor access, which meant he shouldn't know they existed. Zena hummed. "Sir, permission to speak?" "Granted. The human is mapping the facility." "Based on what?" "His movement pattern." She highlighted Riley's path on the 3D schematic. "Not random, systematic exploration of connection points, testing acoustics, checking sightlines. He's reverse engineering our security architecture. During hide and seek, humans evolved as persistence predators," Zena said, like citing academic papers. "They don't just solve presented problems, they optimize beyond stated parameters. Instinctively, he's treating basic evasion like hostage extraction, not consciously, probably. To him, this might just be what hiding means." She tilted her crystalline head. Their survival instincts are comprehensive. On screen, Riley's beacon paused at a junction, then moved vertically. He's climbing, the tech said weakly. Climbing what? Access ladder. To drone storage. Vorak stood very straight. He cannot access drone storage. It's locked. They waited. Riley's beacon entered drone storage. Probably fine. Someone offered. Maybe he's just looking. Humans don't just look, Vorak said darkly. Humans just look, and things end up disassembled with helpful notes saying, I thought I could improve it. 10 minutes in. Xena, Instructor Krell, physically locate Cadet Cooper, bring him back. And if he resists? He won't resist. He's not breaking rules, technically. He's just doing something no one in 40 years thought to do. Which is? Take an evasion exam seriously. Xena and Krell, hulking Drellin with keen tracking instincts, entered maintenance with confidence. They knew these spaces. How hard could finding one human be? 15 minutes later, they called back significantly less confident. Status, Vorak demanded. We found evidence, Krell said carefully. Evidence? He left markers. Granola wrapper balanced on a pipe. Arrow scratched in dust pointing toward ventilation. A note that says, Drone bay this way. Why would he leave markers? Unclear, sir. Very neat handwriting, though. Sir, Xena's analytical calm came through. Cadet Cooper is treating this as urban navigation training rather than concealment. He's practicing route memorization and signposting. During hide and seek. Humans don't distinguish between exercise categories the way we do. They apply maximum effort regardless of stated difficulty. Scraping sound. Krell's startled shout. What happened? Found him, Xena said. He's above us. Vorak pulled their camera feed. Krell and Xena stood in a corridor. Looking up, 3 meters above, Riley Cooper sat cross-legged in a ceiling maintenance channel, eating an apple. Oh, hey! Riley waved cheerfully. Didn't know you guys were coming up. Great hiding spot, right? Cadet Cooper, Xena said with impressive calm, return to the testing zone. Is the exam still running? Yes, but. Then I'm still evading. Another apple bite. These channels go everywhere. Mapped about 60% of the facility. Did you know there's structural weakness in the east wing ductwork? Left a note on the maintenance board. How did you access the maintenance board? Riley pointed vaguely behind him. Through admin corridor. Door was unlocked. That door is locked, Krell said. Was stuck. I jiggled the handle. Riley shrugged. Might need new hinges. Vorak's voice crackled through comms with the quality of someone clinging to sanity by fingernails. Xena, Krell, bring him back. Cadet Cooper, please come down. But I'm hiding. You've been detected by us right now. Riley considered this. Yeah, but the drones haven't found me. The drones aren't up here. Exactly. He finished his apple, pocketed the core. Look, if you want me down, that's fine. But exam's still running for 8 more minutes. I'll need an official order to abandon position. Wouldn't want to fail by giving up, you know? Krell looked at Xena. Xena looked at Krell. Neither had prepared for philosophical debates about exam compliance while standing under ceiling humans. Sir, Xena said into comms, requesting clarification. Must Cadet Cooper comply with instructor retrieval during active examination? Long pause. Then Vorak's voice, like rocks grinding into smaller rocks. Tell him he's doing wonderfully. Tell him to stay exactly where he is until the exam ends. 8 more minutes, Cooper. Krell called up. Don't move. Aye, aye. Riley settled in comfortably. Thanks for checking on me. Walking away, Krell muttered. Humans are prey species, right? Persistence predators, Xena corrected. They're not prey. They're just smaller than their ecosystem expected. That doesn't make me feel better. It shouldn't. 15 minutes in, Vorak now had 6 screens tracking Riley through. Spaces that had never appeared on student feeds. He's in the cooling system, the tech reported. How? Maintenance channel connected to drone storage. Pause. Moving toward external access. External? Vorak's mandibles created a sustained hum. How is he reaching external access from inside a sealed facility? Cooling system has emergency vents. I know what they lead to. Why does he know? Sir, the tech pulled up Riley's file. His application includes wilderness survival, urban navigation, and something called parkour. What is parkour? Database describes it as getting from point A to point B using unconventional routes with physical efficiency. So, tactical mobility for bored humans. That's actually a very good basind. Summary, sir. Riley's beacon moved toward exterior ventilation. He's going outside, someone whispered. He cannot go outside. Vorak sat heavily. Does anyone here actually believe the human will stay inside? Silence. One instructor raised his hand tentatively. I think he genuinely believes clever routing counts as superior evasion. From optimization standpoint, he's not wrong, Zena said. Expanding operational area increases survival probability in real scenarios. This is not a real scenario. Vorak's mandibles achieved new frequencies. This is 20 minutes of hiding behind boxes. But sir, the junior instructor said nervously, how is Cadet Cooper supposed to know we want box hiding when we told him, evade detection using any available means? Vorak stared. Because that's what everyone else did. Right, but everyone else isn't human. The observation room absorbed this like an unwelcome revelation. On screen, Riley reached the external vent. He's looking outside, the tech said. Can he fit? Standard aperture is 40 centimeters. Human shoulder width is, the tech checked, 45 centimeters, so he can't fit. They watched Riley examine the opening, nod to himself, then do something with his shoulder that made several instructors wince simultaneously. What did he just do? Krell asked, horrified. Partially dislocated his shoulder to compress skeletal frame, Zena said clinically. That's not normal, right? Unknown, sir. Human flexibility varies significantly. Riley wiggled through with practiced ease, emerged on the exterior maintenance platform, dusted himself off, and popped his shoulder back with a movement that looked far too casual. He's outside, the tech confirmed in a small voice. Still in testing zone? Everyone examined boundary parameters. Technically, Zena said slowly, maintenance platform is part of facility structural footprint, so by most generous interpretation, he's on the outside of the building. Yes, but still on facility property. Get him inside, 19 minutes in. On the platform, Riley stretched in fresh air, genuinely pleased. He'd beaten the drones, still rolling around inside, going beep beep at nothing, avoided detection for 19 minutes. By his estimation, flawless performance. A supply transport rolled past below. Riley waved. The driver, bored Nodarian hauling equipment, blinked up in confusion. Hey! Riley called down. Is this still testing area? What? Testing area? For evasion exam. The driver had no idea what this human meant. No? This is a service road? Oh, okay. Thanks. Thumbs up. You guys have vending machines in admin, yeah? Why? Just curious. Have a good one. The driver left feeling unsettled, and certain he'd participated in something beyond his comprehension. Riley checked his chrono. 1 minute left. Should probably head back for instructor check-in. He'd aced this. 20 minutes without a single drone detection. Flawless evasion. He climbed back through the vent, easier going in, navigated through cooling, dropped into maintenance, followed his mental map to testing zone, and emerged from a supply closet. As the timer hit 20 minutes, the alert chimed. Across the warehouse, cadets emerged looking refreshed. Thornix from behind crates, Pip from his gap. The Corite stopped refracting light. Riley walked out from the supply closet, brushing off dust. Everyone stared. Where were you? Thornix asked slowly. Hiding. Riley smiled brightly. Did everyone else do okay? Cooper, Pip said. Prey instincts, screaming warnings. Where did you come from? Supply closet, he pointed. Great spot. Gets you access to the whole maintenance grid. The maintenance grid. Yeah, tons of room. Drones can't reach those spaces. Got to see most of the facility. Pretty cool architecture. The cadets exchanged looks ranging from confused to existentially troubled. Thornix, whose predator instinct suddenly questioned whether humans were actually harmless, said carefully, "You were supposed to hide in the warehouse." "I did hide, just..." Expansively, the observation room door burst open. Vorak strode out looking like someone aged 5 years in 20 minutes. Cadet Cooper. "Sir," Riley snapped to attention. "My office. Now." "Yes, sir. Did I do something wrong?" Vorak's mandibles clicked like a malfunctioning machine. "We're going to have a very, very long conversation about that question." While Riley endured what Vorak would later describe as the most exhausting debriefing of my career, the class assembled for results. When they returned, Vorak looked like he'd survived psychological warfare. Riley looked pleased. Exam results. Vorak scrolled his datapad without enthusiasm. Cadet Thornix, perfect concealment, passed. Cadet Pip, excellent positioning, passed. He continued down the list. Everyone had passed. Everyone had hidden adequately from slow robots for 20 minutes. Then he reached the last name. Cadet Cooper. Riley brightened. "Your performance," Vorak said with the tone of someone reading a disaster report, "requires special discussion." "Is that good?" "You were detected by no drones. In fact, drones had no opportunity because you left the testing zone, accessed maintenance infrastructure, mapped 60% of the facility, breached external perimeter, engaged civilian personnel, and returned via a supply closet that had been locked from the inside." Riley waited, uncertain if this built toward praise or condemnation. "You cannot receive a standard grade because we have no rubric for exceeded parameters by treating hide-and-seek as tactical." Reconnaissance. "So, did I fail?" Vorak's mandibles created a sound somewhere between laughter and mechanical breakdown. "No, Cooper, you didn't fail. You survived beyond all conceivable test metrics. You also created 17 security violations, 3 safety incidents, and 1 maintenance request that's apparently quite helpful regarding East Wing ductwork." He looked at his datapad like it had personally betrayed him. "Effective immediately. Human cadets are prohibited from accessing ventilation during examinations. All maintenance hatches will be reinforced. Training drones will receive pursuit capability upgrades, because apparently we need to plan for students who leave buildings. And all future exams will include explicit boundary definitions that assume nothing about shared understanding." Behind him, an instructor held up a document. Rule 47. Human Evasion Protocols. Riley raised his hand. "What? Cooper? I wasn't trying to cause problems. You said evade detection." "I evaded detection. You left the facility." "Well, yeah, but I wasn't detected. The facility is the testing zone. You said testing zone is warehouse. Warehouse has maintenance access. Maintenance connects to facility infrastructure. So, technically, a strangled sound from the observation room. I stayed within connected systems." Riley pulled out his notepad. "I even drew a map. See? All these spaces are technically part of the warehouse's operational systems." Vorak looked at the map. It was, infuriatingly, extremely detailed and technically accurate. Thornix leaned toward Pip. "Do all humans do this?" "I'm terrified to find out," Pip whispered. Vorak closed his eyes and counted to 10 in 3 languages. "Cadet Cooper, you pass. Congratulations. You demonstrated evasion capability far beyond parameters." However, he opened his eyes with a stare that had made warriors reconsider life choices. "You are permanently flagged in our database with notation. Exercise extreme caution. Human creativity protocols apply. Supervise at all times. Assume nothing. Is that bad?" "It means," Zena said from the back, "you've joined a very small list of students who made the Academy question whether our rules are rules or optimistic suggestions." Riley brightened. "That sounds kinda cool, actually." That was not a compliment. Cadet. 1 week later, the Academy's administrative office had worked late every night since the incident. Incident Report 447H detailed the first time in Academy history a student externally breached facility perimeter during basic competency examination. Ventilation systems received sensor retrofits. Maintenance hatches got military-grade encryption. Training drones were scheduled for emergency pursuit capability. Upgrades they'd never needed before. In xenobiology, a tired researcher updated humanity's file. Species, assessment update, humans, previous, persistence predators, high endurance, creative problem solvers, updated, above, plus. Humans do not recognize implicit boundaries. Humans treat obstacles as theoretical rather than actual. Humans optimize any task beyond stated requirements, not from malice, but from apparent instinctive thoroughness. When instructing humans, specify everything, then specify again, then add physical barriers. Then supervise personally. Security recommendation. When designing systems to contain or restrict humans, assume they will find the one method you didn't consider. Then assume they'll do it while being friendly and helpful. Final note. Humans don't hide. Humans disappear. There's a difference. Plan accordingly. In tactical training, instructors developed new coursework. Cooper protocols became shorthand for human-specific modifications. Other cadets studied Riley's route, not to replicate it, but because it demonstrated strategic thinking they'd never considered. Thornix, apex predator her whole life, reassessed her understanding of threat evaluation. If humans treated simple exams like reconnaissance missions, what would they do in actual combat? Pip, whose species survived by being very good at hiding from things that wanted to eat them, experienced the existential crisis of realizing humans were somehow better at evasion, despite being medium-sized persistence predators with no natural camouflage. And in the Academy's classified files, a flag appeared next to Earth, potential ally, extreme value in tactical scenarios, potential enemy, terrifying to consider, diplomatic approach, be very, very clear about rules, then supervise, then hope. Riley Cooper, meanwhile, remained oblivious. He'd passed his exam, made some friends, discovered the campus had interesting architecture, and tomorrow was weapons training, which sounded fun. The instructors, reading his schedule, collectively decided to start drinking. The Galactic Tactical Academy learned an important lesson that day, one that would shape policies for generations. Give a human a simple task, they'll complete it. Give a human a simple task with implied constraints, they'll find every loophole. Give a human an evasion exam, they'll somehow turn it into architectural survey, security audit, and personal challenge simultaneously. Because humans don't just solve problems. They solve problems you didn't know you had, in ways you didn't know were possible, then act genuinely confused about why everyone's upset. At the Academy, one truth became crystal clear. Humans don't evade. Humans escape. And they'll do it while being aggressively helpful about it. The universe was still deciding whether this was humanity's greatest asset or most terrifying. Probably both. Definitely both.